don't really see that many people with no legs that often, right? Or no arms or anything like that. And you kind of, it's so easy to sort of stop and be like, and gawk at it, do you know what I mean? Because it's not normalised for a lot of people. It's nice to be able to remove that stigma a little bit more.
Because we've removed legs, you can remove stigma.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What is it like to lose a limb? What is it like to be on the front lines? What is it like to go through all of this stuff? It's not something that most people ever experience, and that's exactly why I wanted to learn more about it. I didn't film an intro on the day, so consider this an intro. I had the honour of meeting a handful of Blesma members the other day, and we sat down and we recorded some videos. This is going to be a sort of podcast style thing. Some of the discussions that we have, some of the stuff that we talk about is so insanely crazy. To hear their stories of being on the front line, to being in a hospital bed, to doing what they do now is absolutely incredible, and I'm genuinely honoured to have been able to be a part of this. If you want to learn more about Blesma, there'll be a link in the description. I'll also be linking the GoFundMe link for the charity marathon that I'm doing. If you don't know about that, I'll link the video explaining what I'm doing as well. I'm really excited. I'm absolutely honoured and humbled to be able to work with Blesma and Combat Stress on this. If you do enjoy, if you learn something new, and if you want to see more things like this, subscribe, leave a like on this for me, please. And I really do appreciate it. We've got a handful of other stuff coming out like this over the next week or two. And yeah, I do appreciate it. But now you're going to hear from the guys who they are. And just suck it, Halford, suck it, man. Safe.
Hey guys, my name is Jack Cummins, aka Jack Top. I am a Blesma member. I've lost both my legs above the knee due to IED blast in Afghanistan. I just want to say a massive thank you for tuning in to Halford Sucks. Thank you for supporting the stream, and thank you for supporting Blesma. Cheers.
Hello, my name's Nick Healy. I'm a Blesma member. I lost my leg below the knee 3 years ago. And thank you for supporting Blesma, and thank you for supporting Halford Sucks. All the best, have a great day.
Hello, my name's Daniel Bingley, aka Beza Bing, gamer tag, Blesma member. Look forward to seeing you. Out.
Hi, my name's Izzy Perks and I'm the Marketing and Communications Officer for Blesma the Limbless Veterans. I just want to say a massive thank you to Halford Sucks for supporting us in the way that he has with this excellent marathon stream he's going to be putting on, and cheers to all of you guys for tuning in. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Chris Knight. I'm the Corporate and Regional Fundraiser Manager for Blesma. I also manage Game On for Blesma, so anybody that wants to come along and game for Blesma and raise funds for us, raise our profile, then I manage all of those fundraisers. And I'm, to have these guys here today and to create content for the game and for gaming is incredible, so thanks.
Do you know what I mean? But this sort of conversation, like, I feel like people don't know where the boundary is, and for you guys there obviously is a lot less of a boundary than anybody else. It's just one of those things, right? And I think it's nice to be able to break that down and talk about it like properly.
Absolutely. That's what I say. Like, for me, when I go and do a lot of talks, I try and say I hate the word disability.
Yeah.
Especially the word disability means you can't do something, and the great thing about gaming is it's an ability. If you've got the drive, the ability, the mindset to do it, then it's an ability. You're not, especially in gaming, you can't sit there and go, oh, you've got no arm, that means you can't play a video game. We've got no legs, like Jack and myself, and obviously yourself as well, mate. We're not the best players, but we can hold our own.
Yeah.
Yeah. As much as I like camping in a little building with a bush, yeah, and Jack fucking sits there and get out of that bush every 10 seconds. But we can still go and kill somebody. But we, like you play. You might have come across me and Jack. We've killed you, and you go, "Oh, what a fucking prick!" Yeah.
What you don't lot worse than
that. You've got, you know what a prick.
No, but what's worse? What could be hidden behind that is you've just been killed with a person with no legs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's to add temptation to the thing about it, and that's the reality is.
So next time you're playing and you see his name come up and he kills you,
oh no!
Instead of just calling him a fucking prick, you call him a low-legged prick.
Yeah.
Let's go with. Who are Blesma? What do you do? And who's it for?
Over to me. This is your game. So, Blesma. So we're a military charity. So we're actually celebrating our 90th anniversary this year. But we support veterans that have either lost the use of limbs, lost their limbs, lost their sight, or their hearing. And that's not whilst they're in combat or whilst they're serving. This is at any point. So the member only has to serve for 1 day, Then if they suffer limb loss or loss of use later on in life, then they become a Blesma member. And essentially we will then support that member and the family in whatever way they need us, essentially. And whether that is helping with providing wheelchairs, prosthetics, support, grants, activities, family activities. We're a great believer then it's not just supporting the member, we support the wider family, because the member having limb loss, loss of use, has effect on the wider family. So we look at that, so we kind of organise activities for those, activities for the families. We'll do various activities, but it's to enable the members to understand their injuries, so it doesn't hold them back, to realise that they can go skiing, they can go horse riding, they can do scuba diving, but we can also come gaming and do those kind of things. It brings our members together, so that creates that camaraderie between our members that they used to have when they were serving. But we're an organisation that the heart of everything we do are our members. The guys who are here today, they'll tell you about how they benefit from being a Blesma member, how we've supported them, what we've kind of done, but they always come back, they want to kind of come and support us. You go, right, you guys done, Jack's run, took part in the
You fucking witch, don't you?
Get rid of Jack. What are you running for?
We got him. He's on camera. We got him.
Jack's participated in
Participated.
Yeah. You haven't got a leg to stand on. You've got less legs than Jack to stand on in that one.
I love it. This is the beauty of doing this. Yeah, so these guys come back and raise funds because they want to kind of give back to the organisation. But also, touching on what you were saying earlier, is about understanding kind of boundaries and kind of limits. It's not until you spend time with members, and obviously the last 2 years hasn't allowed anybody at Blesma to spend a lot of time with our members. So I've been with the organisation for 2 years. I've been limited in contact with members. These three guys I've probably met most out of all our members, and that's through gaming. But actually spending time with them, you understand their everyday challenges. Now we know their everyday challenges because they will tell us, so we will ask them how, and we'll kind of link in with kind of with the Ministry of Defence, we're linking with local governments, national government, to lobby those governments to help them understand the challenges that our members face, and so we can kind of overcome those on a wider scale. So even coming here today,
I remember you saying in the coffee shop about the train
tube,
stations,
and Jack's journey here, my journey here would have been a lot shorter. But because I'm with Jack, I'm walking.
Oh, so it's all Jack's fault, is it?
Yeah.
Is that how it is? Oh.
Is it because he wasn't running fast enough?
I think it was, mate.
I'll tell you what.
That's it. Blame the injured veteran.
He wheels faster than I walk. But no, just understand it. So
Fucking
even
two-legged
the pavements, the lengths we had to go through the train station to get to the lifts, it's just so inaccessible some places. It's unbelievable. It's not until you're with people like Jack you understand that you start seeing those things. You see it through their eyes.
Obviously, touching on who you guys are, you've been running for 90 years now. If you could give us a little bit of history over what you've done in those 90 years.
That music on TikTok. What are you doing? Oh, can't open.
So history, as we were saying.
History, because when we were talking about Blesma there, and touching on accessibility, that's something that's really important. Is Blesma was created, not for limbless veterans, but by limbless veterans. And it sort of began in the aftermath of World War One. Guys were coming back from the war, sort of like able to survive like wartime amputation for the very first time, really, thanks to their modern medicine. But there was no provision. The government had nothing in place. There was no access to work. People were going back to their jobs and being told, well, sorry, you can't do that now, you've lost a leg, and that was it. There was no sort of benefit system in place. And those guys banded together to sort of create Blesma as it stands, which is where we get the name. It came together as the Limbless Ex-Servicemen's Association at first, and then they started campaigning for more rights and opportunities and things like that, and bringing it to government, and that's really how Blesma was formed in the very early days.
I think going on what Izzy's saying as well, what you don't realise, Blesma compared to other different charities, and Jack will agree with me, because it's a membership, we have a voice, so we can sit there and to take part in gaming. It's a new adventure for Blesma in the last about 1.5 years, I would say. And
last 20 months.
So we as a members, yeah, there is at the moment, from the top of my head, roughly about 30 Blesma members what are interested into esports, just in esports itself. And we can go to Blesma as a member and say, look, I might not be really keen into fishing or keen into for skin, but what I do enjoy is actually esports because of, and the great thing about over COVID and esports itself, because of all these things, activities you had to stop because of COVID, get that, yeah. But me and Jack, we can go on Discord or onto a platform and actually we send each other little messages, send each other little gifts, yeah, and we just have a laugh. And we've, as a member, we've sort of, Blesma's given us the opportunity to push that forward and drive.
Yeah. But also something we're doing now as an organisation is we give grants out to our members, whether that's for home adaptations, for new prosthetics, for whatever they may be, gardening grants because they can't get out and maintain their gardens. But we're actually now giving grants out to our members to buy gaming equipment.
Yeah.
So if a member comes on and says, actually, do you know what, I'm really keen to do some gaming and take part in esports and socialise in that way, we'll assess that request and then we'll fund gaming.
Brilliant to see like such a modern day approach being taken now as well, because I feel like as someone who works in the industry 24/7, it's very hard to discuss with a lot of companies about why it's beneficial to them, about why it's beneficial overall. And I think a lot of companies are still sort of 10 years behind where we are at.
Yes.
And I mean, realistically, my job wasn't really a thing 5 years ago. Do you know what I mean? If I'd have told my mum 5 years ago I was quitting my job to do whatever it is that I do now, I think she would have laughed in my face. She did when I done it 2 years ago. But realistically, looking at where I am now, it's crazy to see it. It's nice to see that there are charities and there are other people and other organisations that are keeping up and adapting with those times. Yeah, embracing it because it's a powerful thing, right?
It's also, to have support from yourself is really important for us as an association. Now, when you say the word Blesma, nobody really knows who we are and what we do. We're one of those lesser known charities. The people that know about us are the people that need us. But it's really great to have someone like you support us to raise our profile, because it's very important that the wider community and more people hear about Blesma and know who we are and what we do. The funds that you will raise through streaming and through running that marathon on that treadmill while playing the Call of Duty.
Don't remind me, every day it gets closer, I get more scared.
but the funds that you raise will directly help our members.
Yeah.
So that it's really tangible in the support that you will give in how we can then continue to be there for our members when they need us most. Because our members just because they're in wheelchairs, they lead a very normal life.
But that's what I said, like you were talking about companies, yeah. You turn around and say to them, yeah, we're trying to help some Limbless veterans. They just sit there and go, oh, well, they've got support. We have support, but this support is only going to be around if people help raise funds for Blesma. Like Chris has said, it's not like even my time in the army. I did 16 years. Did I even know Blesma? No, didn't even know once about them. It was only until I actually went out and someone said to me, we're going to actually support you, and the support they've given is top notch. But that's only there because of people donate and help Blesma.
I only heard about Blesma when I went to get my prosthetic fitted and they'd actually got a poster on. Okay. I'd seen or heard nothing about them.
Yeah.
And for 90 years you're going, that's mad. When you look at the grand scheme of what the geographic of different charities, you just thought you would have heard more of them.
Yeah.
But the great thing what you're doing is raising that profile to other people and go, there's somebody might be watching your stream and going, Jesse, oh, I fancy doing a bit of thing for Blesma. They might not have as many followers as you, but they might just sit there and go, that's a charity I like to support, because of the fact is they're actually helping, and this is the key thing for me. Because we're members, we have a voice, and that is the best thing about this charity.
I think it's really nice to be able to put faces and people behind it as well, because more often than not, like you see with charities, I think you see, I might end up cutting this out, but you do see the success stories, and you see the bits where people are like, we've raised X amount of money.
We call it media halls.
Yeah, exactly, it is, and that's what it is. The media controls so much of it. Like, realistically, how many news stories do you see about, serving soldiers who go out to Iraq, get, blown up by an IED or whatever, and come away limbless, no one explains what happens after that.
After it is like it's
And
after.
this is the afterwards.
Yes.
Why is there no coverage for that?
You know what the truth is, though? I know what the truth is. You just want to play with us because your KD's going to go down, so you get an easier lobby.
All I'm thinking is, burger lobbies, here we come. How many serving members of the military each year suffer from injuries that you guys actually end up supporting?
Well, I mean, I suppose the thing with that is it's very different, sort of depending on whether or not we're in wartime. I think from the First World War, there was something like 140,000 injured servicemen that came back from that, and then possibly even more in World War II. And then there's a bit of a lull we saw until things like other conflicts, such as the Falklands. We saw, I think, about 86 people came back from that and joined Blesma as a result of injuries from the Falklands. And then obviously Iraq and Afghanistan, we saw another increase in our membership again. So it really does depend on whether or not we're in peacetime.
Yeah, of course.
But some things we're finding as well are our membership isn't exclusively for those injured in conflict. We've also got members who have gotten a little bit older, lost legs due to other things such as cancer, diabetes, you know, and just simple things like road traffic accidents.
Yeah.
Simple things, but yeah, so there's a whole variety in how people come to join Blesma.
Yeah, of course. Each year, how many overall members have you got that you serve from, like, that you help from year to year?
At the moment we're supporting, I think, about 2,200
okay, so
members. Yeah, so.
And they, touching on, you know, the ages and the demographics, you know, how old's the youngest versus the oldest? How long have you been supporting the eldest for, and so on?
Well, our youngest member at the moment, he's 21 years old, so really young. He was injured while out on operations, and then we've also got our oldest member, I think is 101 or maybe 102, and yeah, we've been supporting him for over 70 years.
So what about, I know you mentioned earlier about the male to female demographic. Do you want to touch on that for me? Because I wouldn't even know where to start with that.
Well, you know, Chris called me up and said, Izzy, have we got any female members that game? I was like, have we got many female members? We do. We've got, actually more than you'd think. I think we've got about 28 female members of Blesma who, you know, did serve and have lost limbs, but it's still not a very high ratio. Yeah, only a few female members, but I think you see that in a lot of military circles. Yeah. You'll see that in a lot of military service, I imagine, Jack. I don't know.
Right, in my team, my second tour, had the first female high-risk searcher. She was on my team. She was actually the one who put one of the tourniquets on my leg, actually. So, but yeah, I think it's more and more introduced now. Frontline female servicemen, servicewomen who will be on the front line. She was there doing my job, and she was on the front line with it. And thankfully, she helped save my life. So very thankful.
Yeah.
We also have a lot of females that are members, but members through being a widow.
Right.
So when I speak about we support families.
Yeah.
So if once that member dies, the widow or widower that's left becomes a Blesma member.
Yeah.
So they've got their own community within Blesma.
No, that's brilliant.
Where we have widows' weekends, we have activities for widows. They come in. So we have a regional lunch. They'll all be invited to the regional lunch with the members as they're a member. So quite a high number of our members are widows at the moment. So
about 800.
there we go.
Really? It's great. It's so nice to see the extended support as well.
Absolutely.
I think that's such an
Really
overlooked thing.
It is really important. It's really important. It gives them that network and that support because they will have all experienced the same things. And it gives them that support in that way. Yeah. But also they can access our other activities, so things like the photographic and photograph stuff.
Yeah, and while we're still on the family, you know, we know that the sport doesn't end with the veteran, because, you know, what happens to the veteran happens to their entire family as well, and that's so important to remember. And we've got a couple of ways that we can help facilitate like family activities. We have a family glamping weekend that we put on, where members can bring up to 5 family members, so that could be up to 4 kids and a partner typically, and you know, or other family they have, and they just get to go away, meet other members' families, you know, and the kids get to know each other, and it's like, oh, your daddy's missing a leg, my daddy's missing a leg, you know, and they get to have that experience.
Almost normalises it for the kids as well, right? Because obviously, you know, it must be quite difficult being a young person, and you know, seeing that sort of thing and not necessarily seeing it elsewhere, and you know, it's quite, I imagine there's
normalises that.
It does, yeah,
and also gives them that support network.
Something else that you guys work on is Generation R, which I'm really interested in. I think it's brilliant to see that it's almost expanding slightly. If you guys want to, if there's anything that you want to add and touch on in terms of your Generation R project?
Make it Generation R.
So so I've been trained up by professional actors and storytellers to go into schools, colleges, universities, frontline workers to basically tell my story. I've been taught to tell a 20-minute story and in front of an audience, from getting injured, how I overcame that and how I built up my resilience. I've done everything from secondary schools. I've done the England rugby team. I've done an NHS trust in Wales. I've done all sorts basically. With COVID hit, we've kind of took it online as well. So you know, we've done over Zoom or Teams or whatever, and we project ourselves into schools. Yeah, I'm very, very proud. It's actually probably one of the proudest things I've done with Blesma. Quite emotional, quite hard hitting. The training's about a week. The weekend's London, and so got taught up. And you're hearing other stories from Blesma members that you would never ever think of hearing. So one of the members, he was on a nuclear submarine, and it was his job to press the nuclear button if World War III hit, and you're like, you're blown away by this story. Like, oh my god, like the pressure of this guy to press this button for nuclear war is just, oh my god. And he was explaining how they would do drills like every couple hours, and he wouldn't know if it was a live drill or not, if this was for real. So they had to treat every scenario as, oh my god. I've done secondary schools, you know, kids worrying about exams, etc. And you know, I'd go in and I'm thinking they're going to ask me stupid questions, like how many people you kill and bombs you found, etc. But it's not. It's really hard hitting stuff like how, like, mental health challenges and all that kind of stuff. And like they're asking really in-depth questions, and sometimes I'm like, wow, how do I answer this? So it's not just stupid questions they're asking. It's real-world application that making Generation R is, and I think it generally has helped so many thousands of kids and other people in this country, definitely. But yeah, it's very rewarding. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Ask him what job he did in the army.
What job did you do in the army?
So I was part of a bomb disposal search team. Our job was to hunt, find and get rid of improvised explosive devices, IEDs. But as you can see, I kind of found one but the wrong way of finding one. So.
Yeah. Cool. So, who are you? Where are we? What do you do?
Hello, I'm Ollie. I'm the founder, chief exec of London United. We are in Camden. We're in our centre of excellence. Really pleased to have you here. We are an esports org. We use gaming and esports to address social issues and promote health and well-being. You may have seen the TRX hanging over there. We've got a football. We ignore the bucket of sweets from Sweet Cabin. I'm drinking water now though. We work with like the Mayor of London, some really fantastic partners that are in the wall behind us. You know, we've held events to address nutrition, toxicity, racism, working with the Rio Ferdinand Foundation. We've got esports teams. We've actually got a Valorant roster in the VCT. We've got 3 FIFA players that just played in the E-Prem League. We've got 2 Fortnite twin brothers at 14 years of age, one of whom is one-armed, and they want to go on the path to pro. So we're all about opportunity and accessibility. We've got our content creators, and you know, we're probably best known for the events that we've held to address social issues. So just a little bit going on. And then we've got some events planned to continue addressing social issues. We feel that, you know, gaming and esports, particularly the growth during the pandemic, has provided a really good platform to raise awareness, and you know, Gen Zs care about these issues, don't they?
Well, there's hundreds of thousands of young people and, you know, older generations that are especially getting into gaming nowadays as well. And with social issues among younger people becoming more and more apparent and actually becoming a lot more covered, it's about how they then deal with those things and giving the platform and the opportunity to deal with that through a way that is easily attainable and something that everyone can, in theory, get access to is an incredible way of doing it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I don't know about you, but I came in from traditional sport and toxicity hit me face on very quickly. And everyone used to just say, well, it's the norm. It's the norm. This is what happens. I'm like, well, it's not the norm in my organisation. And actually, we, as a UK Esports Teams Committee, I'm now the chairman of it, we've come together and we're working on a code of conduct. I'm not sure this is exclusive for you or not, but we're working on a code of conduct and safeguarding and how you deal with toxicity and how esports orgs should behave as a collective and try and showcase to others how they should try and behave is top of our agenda. But toxicity is like a massive issue. And usually when I talk about stigma, I'll say the stigma attached to gaming is completely dissipated now. The pandemic's helped massively, parents seeing their kids playing. So now actually it's how can we reinforce that gaming and esports can be a force for good. And
yeah, so I think the key thing for me is education, and it all starts from everyone respecting each other, and it goes with the grain of in the military. It's having moral integrity, moral courage. You don't have to follow the crowd and behave like animals out in the wild. You can have respect for each other, even win or lose. And I'll give you an example. Before I got injured, I used to play rugby. At the end of it, win or lose, you'll go in the pub, don't you? And you'll have a beer. Obviously, when it comes to football, that's a bit different. But if we can all have the mindset in esports that we can show people that you can play and be respectful of each other, because that's how you'd like to be treated back, it can be achieved. And like we've just talked about, it's like you do have a lot of children in there and they still have that ethos, but if we can engrave into them that's not the way they behave, that's not the attitude to have, you can actually win respectfully and lose respectfully. That's the key thing for me.
I think it's a really important life lesson anyway as well, do you know what I mean? And if it can be taught from something that's a fun way of teaching it as well, then it's definitely a beneficial thing that will last for a lifetime, right? You know.
And the twins, so I'm hoping I'm getting them right, but I'm joking. Ryan's brilliant and actually doesn't see himself as having a disability. He actually is now taking it as a blessing, and he's incredible just how much attitude that he has put towards trying to do something to prove that has the ability and can actually, he wants to be a pro. He actually wants to be a professional gamer, and he's set in doing that. The mindset is there.
It's an incredible mindset,
it's
right?
just
You're only
incredible.
limited if you let yourself be limited.
Correct.
And that's the great thing, what obviously Ollie's doing from London United, giving people the opportunity and saying, look, you might have one arm, but we're going to help you succeed because we believe in you. And if a Blesma member can go and speak to that player and have a bit of time and go, yeah, how do you... Obviously, the guy who's going to come down, 35, 36 years old, yeah, he's going to speak to a 14-year-old and go, yeah, I've got one arm. He goes cycling. He goes around. He's going across. He's doing an event for Blesma across America, cycling. He can go and use that as an inspiration. And that's the key about it. He's showing positive people doing the positive things. What Blesma tries to engage with, we can now show generations who are injured. Yeah, they might be born in with that disability, but if they can look at a Blesma member and go, if he can do it, yeah, Jack with no legs. There's people out there who got no legs and go, oh, I'm struggling. If Jack can sit there and go, I can achieve, and it's an inspiration for others to go, well, if he can do it, I can do it. Do you know, you might take this away, you might not, but I've always used, I like the ripple effect. You drop a pebble, you might get one ripple, but as the ripples get bigger and bigger, it impacts, and it's an impact on everybody's life. If you, and that's what we talk about, mindset. If I go and be nice to you, you're going to go away and be nice to someone else, and it changes people's mindset. And that's the great thing. We talk about toxicity. If you can change people's mindset, everyone's going to be nicer to each other. And I'm not talking about let's all get flowers and hug each other. I'm just talking just generally just opening up and talking to people. And that's one of the things what I like about Ollie in London United. He hasn't followed the norm. He's gone into Camden and he's gone, okay, I'm going to make an impact. When everyone else hasn't, he's showing that you can make an impact by just wanting to achieve.
So where can everybody find you, and how can they contribute to what you can?
Everyone can find us through Dan. He's our best auditor. LDN UTD on Twitter.
Brilliant.
Yeah, follow us there and jump into discussions. And you know, people want to send us ideas. They want to see certain types of events. We're open to discussion. We're for the community. We are grassroots up. We're not bottom. Sorry, we are bottom up. We're not top down. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah. And obviously for Blesma as well, obviously go onto the Blesma Twitter feed.
Yeah.
If you want to get into speak to the gaming side and maybe do some streaming for us, go on in there and just ask for Blesma and ask for the game Blesma Game On, and it's on our website and there's a link there. You can go and do your own stream for Blesma and help members like me and others. And then feel free, if you see us Blesma being in Warzone, please don't kill me. I don't think I can take it anymore.
You'll find them holed up in a bush somewhere.
Snipe it with a K-Swiss.
No, it's spot on, boys. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
Cheers, thanks very much. And cheers to both of you. Thank you.
Sadly, I had to cut a lot of it out. Obviously, it went on for quite a long time, and I wanted to give you guys the key points. That said, we've got a handful of smaller interviews with some of the guys that you met there as well. How they came to lose limbs and lose the loss of their limbs as well. The stories are honestly insane, so I'm excited for you guys to see that. As you heard at the end there, if you want to contact either organisation, both London United and Blesma, I'll link them down in the description, or you can contact them on Twitter. Everything will be down below. Over the next few days, we're going to have the smaller interviews with the lads individually, but we're also going to be, I'm going to be talking to some guys who have been helped by combat stress as well, and we're going to get the side of mental health and how mental health affects your life after and during the military as well, so that you guys can see that too. Thank you all for watching. I really hope that you've taken something away from today. I definitely took a lot away, and I really do appreciate it.